just
Yeah, just leave it natural. So today I'd like to introduce you to Anthony Wood. Anthony Wood has come on board as a new strategic alliance partner for us here in Brisbane for the Brisbane chapter. Anthony Wood represents EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. I'm going to let Anthony introduce who EOS is and what EOS is offering to the Brisbane chapter. Anthony, thanks for coming along.
Thanks, Mick. Pleasure to be here on behalf of the entire EOS worldwide community, and particularly the EOS Australia community of implementers. We're super excited to be on board as a strategic alliance partner. I guess in a nutshell, EOS and myself are all about helping entrepreneurs live their ideal lives. And we do that by helping them get clear on their vision for their business, give them the tools to actually bring that vision to life, and so they get a real grip or traction in their organization. And then lastly, helping them pull together their leadership team into a functioning, healthy, cohesive team. And we do that by strengthening the 6 components that every business has. Looking at our clarity on vision, surrounding ourselves with great people, looking at our data, what have we got going on in the organization, putting to bed once and for all of our issues, looking at our process so that we're setting things up to systematically and consistently grow as an organization. And then lastly, it's bringing that vision down to the ground, all about execution, instilling accountability and discipline, about getting stuff done.
Awesome. So give us a little bit of background, the history of EOS. Gino Wickman, he's written that book, Traction, which gives a really good understanding of what EOS is and how it's implemented. Traction, the book is available for the EO members in the Brisbane chapter. Anybody who wants a book just puts their hand up. Nikki will be able to arrange that for them. A little bit of history about Gino and how this came about.
Yeah, so Gino, lifelong entrepreneur since age 21. At age 24, he was called in to actually start running the family business. Unbeknownst to him, it was actually a bit of a turnaround situation. So he spent those next 3 years fixing the business and then running it for another 4 years before ultimately selling it as the largest real estate sales training business in the US. So based out of Detroit, but with a national presence. And it was during that latter 4 years that he actually got involved with EO. He actually was one of the founding members of the EO chapter, helped grow that to a 90-member strong chapter. And during the conversations in his time in EO, he ended up actually becoming a chair of a couple of forums and found that the conversations that he was having with people, they were all the same. All the issues that he was having in his own business that he thought were unique to him, everyone else was having the same problems. And so when he sold the family business, he decided to double down on the art and science of running businesses, pulled out the bones from people like Patrick Lencioni, Jim Collins, Stephen Covey, looked at the theory behind running successful businesses, overlaid that with his personal experience, and then pulled that together, basically wrote the book on it, Traction, and ultimately created the thing that we now call EOS, or the Entrepreneurial Operating System. And since that time, Gino, myself, and about 400 other trained implementers across the globe have been working with a variety of different businesses of different sizes, across all sorts of different industries, helping the owners, the entrepreneurs that have had the guts to actually set up those businesses, and the teams that lead those businesses basically get what they want ultimately from their business.
Awesome. So there's a grand synergy between EOS and EO, obviously from its grassroots, where it came from. There are a number of entrepreneurs in EO throughout Australia. I've spoken to a few people that do or have implemented the EOS system, and I'm hearing great results. I've read the book myself, understand it really, really well as to the benefits it can generate for your business. Normally, from what I can gather, staff of about 8 people or more, it seems to be that's the sweet spot of when you would start to implement EOS into your business.
Yep.
With regard to what you can offer, I suppose the chapter forums, is you understand forums very, very well. It's been something that you have been very familiar with in the past. When you come into a forum situation, bearing in mind you're in Sydney at the moment, especially with these COVID lockdowns, how can you offer some assistance, I suppose, or subject matter expert style of training, for a better word, or what's the word I'm looking for? When it comes into forums, how can you give some benefit back to the chapter?
Sure. Yeah. Well, and more than happy to to share some of the tools that we have available. I'm very much driven by a help first value. And so it's about having conversations, helping forum members think about their business differently, basically shining a light on their organization so they can actually see things in a slightly different way or a different light, ranging across 8 questions to clarity on our vision, through to how do we actually find and surround ourselves with great people, getting clear on who we are as an organization, how to actually have effective meetings. It's not very sexy, but it's absolutely essential that we're making sure that when we're leading teams, we're actually getting stuff done and not just wandering into waffle fests. And so they can range from a 10-minute conversation through to a couple of hours, depending on what the forum needs. Also really excited to be hosting what should be about 4 workshops over the course of the next year. We've had great success with those with our partnership with EO Melbourne and Sydney, and where we share EOS as a whole, also wrap some networking around those. So typically around a couple of hours, those sorts of events. And I know that Nikki's working out a bit of a schedule for those to happen over the next 12 months. The fact that I'm physically in Sydney, it's not for lack of trying. I want to get into Queensland, but the reality is that we live in a connected world. We're doing this conversation via Zoom right now. So we've all made the mental shift. It's all about the conversation we're having, not the technology or face-to-face that we where we are. It's about what we're talking about that counts.
Yeah, 100%. Well, look, we're really excited to have you on board. It's been a rough and rocky start, obviously, to the process with COVID, unfortunately, but we know that this year is going to produce, we believe, some really good benefits back to the chapter. We encourage all the forum members or the moderators of the forums to get in touch with myself, Michael, Emanuele, or Nikki to help make an arrangement, make the introduction to yourself. And we really are grateful to have EOS on board. We are really looking forward to the year ahead. So thank you, Anthony, for your time. And we're going to see a lot more of you this year.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mick. And it would be very remiss of me not to give a shout out to one of the members of the chapter, Ben Shapiro, who's been a long time member of the EOS community. And as a result of his businesses going from strength to strength, he's continuing to grow, and it's fantastic to see how his business is going and growing. So shout out to you, Ben.
Thank you very much, Anthony. We'll talk again soon.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right.